many words.
Too many words. Okay, private chat. I put them in there for you, Mr. Hutch. It should be a very simple process. This is a very easy thing. And guys, we know it's going to be some growing pains. We want you to make the best of it at your new school and with your new friends. And things are really going to turn around. You'll see. Do you ever feel like that sometimes, that you're just trying to steward your audiences to a greener pasture? That sounds like I'm going to kill them.
Why? Dude, am I going crazy? Why do when I copy paste YouTube links, it just does the title of the fucking video instead of the address?
Because you're copying, you're doing the Control C that says copy text of link instead of the link.
Yeah, you've been doing that. People say you do that, Hutch.
What am I doing?
So when you copy paste, there's two options. One is copy text of link, and one is copy link, and you're copying the text instead of the link.
I'm just hitting Control C, bro.
Oh, I don't know what to
tell
you.
You know what?
There it is.
Hutch,
Okay,
I'm going to send you.
I figured it out.
You were right. IRI rated this apparently.
Oh wait! Welcome, Raiders. Welcome. I was
coming?
right. He's coming. He's coming. Of course. IRI would never let us down, folks. What a crazy weekend, huh?
Why do you say that? What do you mean?
What was crazy?
I don't really know. I just
you know what I've always hated on talk shows. At every talk show, at the beginning of every talk show, they go, "We got a great show for you tonight." It's like,
it's not always a great show.
Yeah, would they say otherwise? Would they be like, "We have a terrible show for you tonight"?
We have a pretty mediocre show tonight. Yeah, not really.
It's fine. I mean, if you want to tune in, whatever. By the way, guys, Jeremy Vollin's coming on later. He is the Massachusetts House candidate, and we will be interviewing him and saying, "What's up? Do you denounce the DSA? Yes or no?
Do you denounce bad things?" I want to ask him that personally. I don't want to support someone who likes bad things.
Oh my God! $100 super chat from Josiah.
From our grandfather.
He says, "Happy consolidation day back the court." And there is our man.
There he is, the man of the hour.
Well, I tried to host on YouTube, but it wouldn't let me. And I was waiting till the stream went live, so I'm sorry for being late. But I was just trying to raid and host. But I was able to raid on Twitch at least.
Okay.
Yeah,
right
we suspected that you were trying to raid. So some of us thought that would have been because you're just a very good person and altruistic. I said that you were probably waiting for that.
Yeah, maybe we could find a way to have the waiting room just available, and if people are streaming right before. And I streamed too, just to direct people, but I didn't end it 5 minutes before. I took a little break. But we'll work out the kinks, everyone. We're all here now. So, how's everyone going? How was your week, everybody?
Let's try this. I'm feeling worse after that Supreme Court ruling. Not gonna lie, it's just so many times at this point the Supreme Court hits us with some bullshit, and this opinion is just like all the other times when executive power is involved or when Trump's involved and it's his use of authority. They put a big thumb on the scale in favor of Trump, and they're like pretending that these election day rulings or the election related regulations they want to pass, who can know what they're going to do? It's not like they're signaling what they want to do. We just have to like pretend and walk through the motions and wait around for them to do all their crazy corrupt shit before the court's going to step in and do anything about it. And so I think it just underscores Josiah and my crusade, and I think you guys are on board mostly, that court expansion and court reform are some of the most important policy goals that we can get out of these Democratic candidates. And we need commitments on it because it's vital.
Well, can you give context, Pisco? I mean, what is this ruling going to allow him to do going into the midterms? Because I know I was scaremongering, or maybe not mongering, maybe realistically sounding the alarm that these people are going to fuck with some shit in the midterms. Like, what does this mean implication-wise? That is he going to be able to make it mail-in ballots less viable in a lot of states?
Not yet. So basically, what's going to right now, I actually think there's another injunction that might be stopping the implementation of the rule. But for now, if this goes the way that the court is signaling, then it would be the case that Trump is going to be given enough time to try to like implement the rule lawfully, even though facially the rule is like a clear infringement on the state's sovereignty. You know, states are the ones and local governments are the ones that generally run elections unless there's some congressional law on point. What the court said is that the states suing the government, they don't have standing because they've just given like kind of inside executive orders, like internal executive directives, and nothing has like crystallized yet such that the states are injured. And what I think the dissent powerfully points out is you guys are putting your blinders on. You're ignoring all the statements of the administration. You're ignoring like the structure of the rule and trying to atomize it. And that's how you like devise this situation, which is, I think, absurd on its face, that like they created this rule for it to be useless, or they created this rule about like making lists of people just for the benefit of the states. It's because they're really altruistic and wanted to help the states. And so it's a standing issue. It's a justiciability issue. It's a jurisdictional ruling. It's not a merits ruling, but it signals that the
I feel like this gets spicy.
So the Supreme Court ruled that, well, I'll
no
take
standing.
a look at it.
Yeah, no standing, because the states aren't injured yet. We got to wait for them to make like a real rule. Only when they make the real rule can we let you guys sue over it, basically.
But can this even be implemented in the 2026 midterms? Is it even possible?
The wording of the opinion seems to suggest that they leave open the possibility that they could implement something in time for the midterms. In fact, that's one of the things that they cite. One of the factors when you're like assessing stays is the balance of equities, and you have to assess whether or not like there's irreparable injury. And what they suggest seems to be, well, if you fuck around with this too long, they might not be able to implement it in time for the midterm elections, which would seem to suggest that they're open to that possibility.
I feel like I got to look into this a little bit more.
But what Justice Jackson points out is this lets them do some gamesmanship, because there are additional legal principles against affecting elections too late, right? And so now they've like given you a too early principle with the standing application, and they also have this thing called the Purcell principle, or the Purcell doctrine, which is like a too late principle. And so it really lets the government kind of play around and do bad faith shit, which they're wont to do.
Well, Trump voted again by mail in last Tuesday's Florida primary. So his campaign against mail-in voting is do as I say, not as I do. But also there's red states that vote by mail almost exclusively, like Utah. And there's also red states like Idaho that aren't even on board with this voter rolls bullshit. So I just don't think this is going to go over well, any sort of messing with the voting process, especially this close to the midterm. So let's see how some red states react to this as well.
All right. And finally, to get Hutch in. Hutch, how was Mexico?
Hot and humid, but it was nice. It was nice. It was good.
Chilling a bit before you hop up. Hell yeah.
I obviously don't have a problem with.
Yeah, so did I. I'm literally just catching up. That's why I like when there's a show like this, so I can be lazy. And another good thing is because I'm small enough a creator, I don't have enough big enough of an audience. I don't feel guilty for stealing their content, because come on, voters
Pressuring politicians to take certain positions, that's politics. I guess the only thing I want to say is like I feel like it's unlikely that we're going to have the votes to pack the court. So I just want to temper people's expectations.
Oh, also, I had to fucking make a doctor's appointment. I'm afraid, I fear I got a fucking hernia somehow between yesterday and today. I have no idea what a hernia feels like, but I have like this feeling right in my abdomen that I felt this morning, like when I woke up, where I was like, listen, I've never felt a hernia. I don't know what a hernia feels like, but I feel like this is what a hernia feels like. So fuck, I'm going to die.
But I'm not, but listen.
Yeah, I might have been stealing a little bit, Corum. What are you going to do? He can't be the only leech.
You can pressure them.
You're right.
That's all good. But it's just.
Some of us have an audience to build.
That one.
I need the easy fucking content, not him.
Feels like
my God, that's Josiah's theme music. He's good. No, I
just want to temper people's expectations. But I'm not. But listen, you can pressure them.
You're right.
That's all good. But it's just.
Yeah, right.
That one feels like.
My God, that's Josiah's theme.
Like, part of me hopes it's just like a weird muscle thing, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt when I feel like it would hurt if it was a muscle issue. Like when I activate other parts of my core, and it doesn't even hurt a lot. It's just like a weird, oh, there's a feeling in a place where there wasn't a feeling before. So I was like, fuck.
So I just want to temper people's expectations. But I'm not, but listen, you can pressure them.
You're right.
That's all good. But it's just, that one feels like
my God, that's Josiah's theme music. He's good. No, I'm just fucking around. No,
we got some mainstream Democrats like Kamala, she's talking about it, other major. So it's not like there's 0% chance. It just seems unlikely. That's a big one. That would be the probably the most significant piece of legislation since fuck, I don't even know, the 70s or like that would be big.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Things could change in the next 2 years, and Trump could do some crazy shit with the Supreme Court for sure. But I just think the chance of packing the court is slim right now. You're probably much more likely to get like a code of ethics, something like that.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize. I forgot. Good idea, Quorum. I forgot that they merged. It's all in one channel now. Let me see that. Let's bring that chat up. Where's the fucking live chat?
Pisco, you think this is realistic? I mean, first of all, you got to get rid of the filibuster. You don't have 60.
Oh, what the fuck?
Of course, yeah. Good person and altruistic. I said that you were probably waiting for that.
Yeah, maybe we could find a way to like have the waiting room just available, and like if people are streaming right before. And I streamed too, just to direct people, but I didn't end it 5 minutes before. I took a little break. But
there we go.
Yeah, we'll work out the kinks, everyone. We're all here now. So. How's everyone going? How was your week, everybody?
I'm feeling worse after that Supreme Court ruling. Not going to lie.
We were a little further ahead than this.
That like they created this rule for it to be useless, or they created this rule about like making lists of people just for the benefit of the states. It's because they're really altruistic and wanted to help the states. And so it's a standing issue. It's a justiciability issue. It's a jurisdictional ruling. It's not a merits ruling.
I'm gonna let it play.
But it signals that the federal government's going to be given maybe a bit more time to try to find some way to work it out. But if you give a mouse a cookie, you know what happens, right? Soy Pill?
He gets diabetes because it's too much sugar.
No, he's going to try to interfere in the 2026 elections. And so it's just, we can't let this mousy guy get involved. And so, yeah, there might be a ruling eventually that goes the right way, but you don't want to give these people space. And just how they're signaling to be so deferential to Trump, so deferential to his power, I think is just bad for the state of the country, because it's so indicative and it's so representative of the other kind of moves that the Supreme Court has made recently.
I'm not following. I was gone all last week. Yeah. I don't know anything about that. So I got nothing.
It just came out like an hour ago. So I have no idea what it's about. I didn't even know what it was about till you just told me right now. So news to me.
Trump did an executive order where he was like,
I know about that.
Oh, yeah.
But so the Supreme Court ruled that, well,
no standing, guys. Yeah, no standing, because the states aren't injured yet. We got to wait for them to make like a real rule. Yeah. Only when they make the real rule can we
fucking grade A auction win right there.
But can this even be?
Wait, Mark, what did I miss?
Involved. And so, yeah, there might be a ruling eventually that goes the right way, but you don't want to give these people space. And just how they're signaling to be so deferential to Trump, so deferential to his power, I think is just bad for the state of the country, because it's so indicative and it's so representative of the other kind of moves that the Supreme Court has made recently.
I'm not following. I was gone all last week. Yeah. I don't know anything about that. So I got nothing.
It just came out like an hour ago. So I have no idea what it's about. I didn't even know what it was about till you just told me right now. So news to me.
Trump did an executive order where he was like,
I know about that.
I'm going to get less and less time.
But so the Supreme Court ruled that, well, I'll take
standing.
A look at it.
Yeah, no standing, because the states aren't injured yet. We got to wait for them to make like a real rule. Only when they make the real rule can we let you guys sue over it, basically.
But can this even be implemented in the 2026 midterm?
We were a little further than this before.
Fuck, I don't even know, the 70s or like that would be big.
Well, I mean, things could change in the next 2 years, and Trump could do some crazy shit with the Supreme Court for sure. But I
wonder if we're going to see people like Doobie or any of the other snarkers that are usually donate during Pisco's chats during Live and Learn. I wonder if we're going to see him here in like the combined chat.
I just think the chance of packing the court is slim right now. You're probably much more likely to get like a code of ethics, something like that. But I mean, Pisco, you think this is realistic? I mean, first of all, you got to get rid of the filibuster. You don't have 60 votes, and the chances of getting rid of the filibuster are already slim. So I think dude, who's gonna vote? There are so many moderates, as you just indicated, right?
No, I'm not permanent yet. Wouldn't be surprised if I would be at some point. Fuck, that hurt. I don't really want to stream on there unless I have to, because I don't want to actually get banned. So I'm just going to keep that on the down low. Plus, I feel like I'm not going to get many followers or subs on Twitch the way Twitch works these days. I'd almost rather build them on Kick if I'm going to start from nothing.
Right? Like you got Angus King, you have Chris Coons, you have Mark Warner, you got all these moderates nobody's ever heard of. That
The reason, I get you.
Against the filibuster
With the current Senate, I get you. Like the current
same thing as ISPAC and INS. Do you know how many illegal aliens?
The fuck?
When we look at Trump's numbers right now, I don't know if you saw the Harry Enton video. He's like -32, which by this point in 2018, I think he was like -17 or 18 or something like that. And so I think that it is possible, not that I'm like bullish on this outcome, but it's possible that we can see a Senate map that we just can't even imagine right now. So like, I wouldn't rule out like 58 Democrats or 59 or 60 or something like that. I just wouldn't rule that out for 2028. Like, well,
Bro,
listen,
okay.
the fact that we're having a conversation right now, a serious conversation about Texas and Iowa flipping blue, you know, I'm just saying like stranger things have happened. And we've had a lot of American history where things change very fast.
Oh wait, it doesn't work where the chat goes back in time. No, it's still just live. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
But here's what's going to happen.
Yeah, right, Corbin? That'll be
Let's say the Dems control the House.
Dream.
You're going to see Trump's behavior change. Like he's restricted now, right? He had a rubber stamp from the House and the Senate to do whatever he wanted. No checking him on his tariffs, the Iran war. So I think like the sting of Trump dies down as he gets closer to 2028. And I don't think that it leads to like, you know, causing more outrage. I don't know. I could be wrong, but.
Oh, well,
okay, guy. Here's, I'm going to quote Nikola Tesla from the movie. And do you guys know this movie?
The Prestige?
The Prestige, that's right. Where
Great
he's
movie.
presented, he presents a saying, which is man's reach exceeds his grasp. And what Nikola Tesla says is, actually, that's not true. Man's grasp exceeds his nerve. And here's what I'll say to you, Guy. You gotta do the necessary first step. If you're telling me we won't even have enough votes to do filibuster reform, to get rid of the legislative filibuster, then we are cooked. How is a President John Ossoff, a President Gavin Newsom going to be able to deliver if we can't even get rid of the legislative filibuster? When we had votes on the legislative filibuster carve out for, was it the John Lewis Voting Act or some of these legislations that were proposed under Joe Biden,
I would spend a ridiculous amount of money that I shouldn't spend on a nice bottle of whiskey. Oh, was that me? No. A nice bottle of whiskey and a nice cigar, if and when that happens.
we were getting like 45, 46 votes for some of this legislation. And so I cannot accept, Guy, and I will not accept from you, doomerism on at least the legislative filibuster. If you want to say court reform, court expansion, that's too far, I'm going to fight you on it. But we have to do the legislative filibuster. That has to happen.
I applaud your optimism in thinking it can happen, but this is why I've been such a cheerleader for the Save America Act and rooting Donald Trump on, because I believe this is the best way, the easiest way to get rid of the filibuster is by getting the Republicans to do it with that atrocious bill. I do not see the filibuster going away for years. I'm sorry, Pisco. I would love to join you. What I think is going to happen is some more moderate Republicans who buck the MAGA stuff will join President John Ossoff and his Democratic colleagues to pass some more incremental changes, like an ethics, you know, code ethics, whatever you call it, for the Supreme Court. So I'm not trying to make anyone sad here, but like, this is what I think is realistically going to happen.
We're going to get IRI. We're going to convince them, because here's the thing, right? We have a short window, a narrow window of opportunity to bring our country from the brink. And because these crazy Republicans, they're not going to get any more sane, right? You saw what's going on in Florida and where the youth of the Republicans are going. I mean, it's Groypers, it's Tucker Carlson, it's Megyn Kelly, it's all this bad shit, all right? And so I don't see any world in which Republicans like learn from the tragic error of their ways in MAGA and they come back to reality. So there needs to be something, a bulwark, if you will, against this threat. And unfortunately, it's not a question of if we can get it, just is necessary given what the Electoral College is going to turn into, given what's going to happen to any legislation. You talk about public option. I mean, they're salivating at an opportunity. This is the conservative justices to strike down any piece of bipartisan legislation that a Democratic president is going to present. So it's not a question of can we get it? We must get it. And there needs to be a way it's going to,
But Pisco, instead of putting in one basket that, you know, Guy and I feel might be a little far-fetched, why not also instead, like, you know, like if that can't happen for whatever reason, then what's the other option? The other option would be to rebuild a coalition big enough to do transformative stuff. And so, like, to me, the hybrid expansion and not talking about this other thing that we obviously need to do if we're going to have any like long-term success. I don't know. I just feel like we're missing part of the prescription.
I want to be able to tell you that it's not a panacea. I want to be able to tell you that it's not necessary. And listen, if we don't get it, am I going to give up? No, of course not. I'm going to be fighting to the last day for our country. And with all of you guys, I know you'll be fighting with me to the end too. And if we were to lose the 2028 election, I would be fighting until, again, this country means everything to me. And so I'm with you on that. I just do think it just is necessary, and changing, like, yeah, I would love to have a bipartisan, moderate, incremental change. I just don't think, I mean, is your
I'm saying
been
no, I said not like bipartisan moderate. I said build a 2008 coalition, 1960s style coalition. Like,
oh, sure.
You know, we should be focusing probably like more energy talking about that than court expansion, I think, because that to me seems more likely than court expansion. I mean, it's just like
the reason we do it though, Hutch, is because Josiah and I both have this intuition that the structural factors that would contribute to a Democratic win of the magnitude of Obama, that those factors of Democrats delivering go right through the Supreme Court and right through legislation. How are you going to get an Obama era coalition without doing stuff, right?
But hold on, Pisco. I think if you don't take the steps that Hutch is describing, like code of ethics, term limits, it's just going to start a war of expansion, you know? Like, what is your response to that? That the Republicans will then expand it further with the second they get a chance to do that, because you're not actually solving the problem. You're dealing with the results.
Yeah. So here's how I put it before in these debates. So the first thing you often get is this tit for tat thing, right? The tit for tat. Well, if you just do this, the Republicans will just do this, and it'll go endless back and forth, back and forth. First of all, as just a predictive matter, what is the history of this occurring such that there's able to be a sort of successful reverse court pack in the previous court packs that we've seen in throughout our history? There's been like one time where Thomas Jefferson has reversed court reduction from John Adams. But beyond that, there's not much empirical basis to suggest that we're going to have this endless tit for tat. Second,
I can't fucking stop thinking about my hernia. I'm going to fucking kill myself.
A quote unquote endless tit for tat is preferable to the current status quo. It's preferable because, you know, would you want the court 100% of the time or 0% of the time or 50% of the time? Obviously 50% is superior. And third, you wouldn't raise this concern if Republicans initiated a court expansion, right? If the Republicans did a court expansion as we understand it, that is,
well, I mean, yeah, if we were reacting to something Republicans did, it would be different. But
with legislation, would you say we shouldn't do one in response, IRI?
Well, as far as these being unprecedented things, we also kicked out a speaker for the first time in our nation's history in 2023. So these are wild times, and you know, people are manipulated very easily. And so I think Thomas Jefferson, if they had X, maybe back in his day, we would have seen some
they were more partisan than us.
But I'm just saying, what means more to you? Term limits on Supreme Court justices or expanding the court?
Expanding the court. And I'm
trying
not to be disrespectful.
No.
Yes, 100%. And I'm trying to be respectful. But this whole thing about
term limits or expand, I don't know. Let's hear both their arguments. I actually don't know which one I would prefer. I haven't thought about that.
About ethics code, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter.
Okay, forget the code.
Wait, where am I? -29 minutes.
In Pun intended. It was dead.
Of the Merrick Garland of what happened there. That's the issue here. And it's resolved by court expansion. The other stuff either doesn't address what's and these people about thinking for their next job, right? Think about how it would really be. I mean, some of these state Supreme Courts, for example, when they're really,
I mean, even if we just force them, like, I understand like the argument of like, oh, what about their next job? Like, they don't need a job. They can just go on fucking speaking tours as their next job. Like, I don't get that argument. They can just fucking write books. They can ghost write books, make money that way, go on speaking tours, speak at universities. Like, I don't buy the, oh, what are they going to do afterwards? Like, fucking bullshit argument. Like, just make them so they can't work. I don't know. Just fuck them. If they can't save enough money by the time they're not a Supreme Court justice anymore, that they need another job, fuck them.
Truly worried about their next job, you're going to see rulings that are more harmful. In
Why do
terms
you think
of
that,
partisan. So if your concern is partisan makeup, you shouldn't go to term limits. The problem here is a skewed partisan court.
Yeah, see, I think that's a good idea. I think you should be out of a majority of politics by 75, or like even if it's like at best, even if you're elected, like let's say you're 74 and you have a 4-year term, you can't rerun. Like you can finish out your term, but you can. I don't know.
End of the Merrick Garland.
Anything's better than the shit we got.
That's the issue here. And it's resolved by court expansion. The other stuff either doesn't address what's going on or introduces a bunch of problems that doesn't resolve the here and now. And the here and now is we don't have 20 years to right the ship. We have 5 years.
Well, yeah, Pisco, can I jump in here? I need to ask Pisco about this. Like, I understand the idea that if there are term limits on the Supreme Court, then they might make more radical decisions to preserve their jobs or like do things that are more partisan. Why can't you expand that argument to literally every politician that has a term limit and say, oh, well, you know, they're going to do things in their own self-interest to get reelected, so we should just have no term limits on any politician?
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with you
expanding the courts can be a chase to the bottom where each side whenever they have majority will expand, especially the Republic. Yeah. That, I mean, unless you somehow put something in, now I don't know how you would do that, but like something so solid, but you'd have to like rewrite the Constitution where it's like it. So you'd need like another constitutional convention to get it done. I don't know. You would just need to have like majority proof it in a better way if you went that route. Which you can do, I feel like if you have enough power to change it, like you can put something in that you need a supermajority to overcome.
The problem is with the legislative and executive people, we want them worried about their next job because we want them worried about elections, and a lot of them want to have be reelected, and so it makes sense to have that incentive for the political branches of government, but not for the supposedly independent branch of government. And when it comes to the more like kind of, well, what about the politicians with the private interest, the corrupt interest? The way you address that is through corruption. Targeted corruption, law enforcement, that kind of stuff. And then, like, for example, laws potentially banning stock trading, that kind of stuff is how you address them. But we actually do want partisan actors responsive to political wins. That's a good incentive.
So you do not support term limits for Supreme Court justices?
Nope. And also because it would require an amendment.
Disagree.
So in terms of practicality, the amendment is just way out there.
Okay, my understanding and getting it passed. Is that what you're saying?
Yo, Mark, if you carry, I'm curious. What do you carry?
You need an amendment, and you need to
but
go.
There's
through
there's other ideas. There's other ideas that I'm sure you're aware of, where you can have someone be like a senior judge in another capacity or whatever, right?
You kick them down to the federal court.
Those ideas are constitutional, right? I'm not convinced that many of those are constitutional ideas. And who's going to rule on their constitutionality, guy?
Well,
it's going to be the Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah. So it just kicking the can down the road. The problem is this court, and we need something that addresses this court.
Well, but my last little point was, as you pointed out, states have their Supreme Courts. No state has lifetime appointments. No other country, as far as I know, has lifetime appointments. We're the only one in the Western world that does this, and it's a disaster because people feel they get upset that knowing this person's going to be on the court for 40 years. Instead, it would lower the temperature if people knew it's only going to be 18 years. And I think it would improve our country in general just for that alone.
Yeah. So listen, if you put a gun to my head and said term limits or no term limits, I'll give you like a long period of time. For me, the minimum amount of time I'd like to be.
You don't care. You have Glock 19, 365X. Oh, good thing it's an X. If not, you have to be careful. And I built an AR. Oh, nice. BCM upper and arrow lower, the Reddit special. Nice. You actually did good for your first AR.
be interested in is like 18.
I got lucky. I can't show it. My main AR, I got like back when Geisley did their actually good blem sales. I got a Super Duty 14.5 Super Duty upper. Fucking love that thing. Then I have like a 10.5 shorty. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, like it just because it's like, I mean, it's a Reddit special in a good way because like it's just like the best. Like, if you're just gonna get one, you just get that, and you're good. Like you're good forever with that. Like a BCM upper, you're golden, and then you can like update the trigger if you want later down the line. Like, yeah,
18+.
Like if I was to tell somebody like and they had a little bit more, like I would tell them at first, like just get a PSA if you need one. If money's really tight, get the cheapest PSA upper you can on sale. Get a cheap PSA lower on sale. You're good. But if they have a little bit, like under $1,000, you can spend $800. I'd like get the BCM every time.
But all I'm telling you is that we could have a conversation about that. Maybe
I've seen videos of people in fucking Ukraine rocking BCM rifles, so they're pretty. I think they're battle tested.
We agree on that guy. Maybe we end up and we say terminals are a good idea separately. But what I'm saying is it doesn't address the problem that Josiah and I are identifying. The problem that Josiah and I are identifying is a problem about this court's legitimacy and the next 5 years. And that's a problem that needs to be resolved now. I'm with Hutch. I want an Obama-era coalition. I want us contesting Republican states and more right-wing states. But how is that going to happen if the Democrats are stymied at every turn with anything that's going to like create that mandate? And so it really is the foundation for everything. It's the foundation for retribution for what happened to Merrick Garland and just desserts. It's the foundation for good policy, and it's the foundation for good coalitions that survive the test of time and doing abundance and all the other shit that you might have in your policy agenda.
I agree. This Supreme Court will strike down anything that they disagree with. And I think that will lead to the public getting worked up to be able to implement the changes you're talking about. But what is the practicality of getting rid of the filibuster in the next couple of sessions of Congress? I mean, realistically, like it's not going to happen in the next session. And the 121st Congress starting in 2029, Trump, or are you talking 20, you know, the 122nd? Like realistically, what do you think? When do you think it could happen?
It needs to be 29, and it needs to be something that the Democratic base and influencers are pushing
I understand.
for. And listen, the last time we had a vote on that,
of it happening though,
like, the last time we had a carve out on that vote, what we had, let someone do the whip count. It was like 46 or 47 for a legislative filibuster carve out. And so
but that was for a specific thing. That wasn't to get rid of.
We just make it for a specific thing. We make it for whatever
the
emergency
is. Or it'll be for voting rights. It's not going to be in general, though.
No,
but then the Supreme Court can still strike down, right? Whatever.
Yeah. The Supreme Court can try to do. That's why you start with court reform. That's why it's so important to start with court expansion. But yes, that's correct. We can just do a carve out. Just do a fucking carve out like Mitch McConnell did for Supreme Court appointments.
No, but
do a carve out, and we almost had the votes for that. Won't.
I don't think you'll have the votes to do a carve out for Supreme Court reform. It has to be something that is at top of mind, is like in front of people right now, which is like voting rights or abortion. Those were what they were talking about doing a carve out for. I have not seen evidence that there could be a carve out for expanding the Supreme Court. I think the Supreme Court, basically my final argument in this, the Supreme Court has to get way worse. And that's going to take years before people get fed up with it. I'm sorry. I know people are fed up right now, and they have every right to be, but not enough people are fed up. They haven't even begun to do terrible things.
I'll give you my last word on it. We don't need to convince 52 senators, I don't think. I think we need to convince one person, and that's the next Democratic president. The next Democratic president needs to have a mandate, and we need to get the president on board with this policy. Not to say he won't have checks, but a huge step. A huge inertial step is going to be electing a Democratic president who's based as fuck. That's why when I'm thinking about who I want to be the leader of the Democratic Party, who I want to be the president, this is a high salience issue. Kamala Harris rose to near the top of the pack just for signaling that she's open to filibuster reform, that she's open to all this other stuff, even though it's not in her purview. It's not in her purview. Well, why is she commenting on legislative filibuster? Because she understands the power of a mandate, and the presidency is what matters now. That's who I want to convince. And so that's what I want to do.
You think John Ossoff could be the person that could lead that charge?
He definitely could be.
He'd be the first Jewish president when anti-Semitism is popping off right now.
Yeah, we got to fight all those anti-Semites.
I wouldn't count Ossoff.
Hassan, you're on the chopping block.
I feel like Ossoff's stock is rising every week, man.
I think
like
he could do it.
I really do. Like that guy.
I think he could do it.
I think he's got like some intangible.
He's got some riz.
It's like hard to put into words, but when you see him speak, like I saw some clips of him, his Senate debates back in 2020. Was that when it was? Yeah. And man, did you guys watch him debate? He's insane. Like he has just insane presence when he's on that stage. And I'm just imagining him on a debate stage during the Democratic primaries. I wouldn't count him out. I mean, I take your point, guy, about the current climate, and all the people on the left, like Kyle and Hassan, who say they like him. That's going to go right out the window the second he actually like has any chance of becoming the nominee.
He's a progressive challenger.
But he is like, I think a kind of a special politician in terms of his talent. He's got it, bro. He's
a special guy. He's a special, and I think that his riz, his power, like he could be a commander. He could be an Obama type, and I want that for him. And if he is in line on these structural reforms, I'm going to be the first one handing out the John Ossoff signs, because that's what's needed. It's necessary, and it might be hard, guy. But one day I'm going to convince you. I'm going to convince you. And I know that you want what's best too. And I know you don't want people to get disappointed. And I know that's what's going on here. And I respect that. I really think that,
Yeah, that's part of why I'm pushing back, because I want people to be realistic. And you make a good case, Pisco. It could work out the way you're saying. I mean, Trump may do some crazy shit over the next 2 years. Supreme Court may enable him in some ways. That there is the momentum to reform the Supreme Court. I mean, that's how it happens, right? It has to happen. I'm just saying, right now, the well has not been poisoned enough to get what you want. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think. Most people are kind of just chilling. They just want to grill and save a few bucks at the grocery store.
Okay, that might be true, but like that's why we need our leaders. And the Supreme Court's opinion polling has never been lower than, or I should say, I should qualify that. Recent polling suggests that it's at close to the nadir, if not at the nadir or nadir. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that of approval. And so, if there was a time, I think it would be now. And I think, unfortunately, it has to be now if we're going to have any kind of, way to prevent the Royper and Republican onslaught that's waiting for us in 2030 and 32.
What about impeaching one of these motherfuckers like Samuel Chase, the only Supreme Court justice ever impeached? He wasn't convicted. He was appointed by...
So libs need their version of the Heritage Fund. Yeah, honestly, we need like the background organization that the right wing has. But unfortunately, and the sad thing is, it takes fucking decades to build. And we ain't got decades right now.
By George Washington, of all people. And he changed his tune from what I read. I wasn't alive at the time, but he changed his tune, changed the whole court for like 100 years. Why not impeach one of these?
I love you, guy. I love you because a couple of reasons too. One, if you don't have the votes for filibuster reform, you don't have the fucking votes to remove one of these justices.
You just need a majority in the House. I'm saying Samuel Chase was not removed. He was just impeached in the House, and it changed.
Who cares about an impeachment? Oh, because
it changed his tune. He was like lecturing people, and he was causing a lot of problems.
I don't have all back the then, guy, but now like impeachment, you can do it to Trump twice. What did he do in response to that? I mean, like, it's actually interesting to me that Trump is signaling he's scared of impeachment post midterms, and like, why do you care? Like, you should be scared of conviction, but you don't give a fuck about getting impeached unless it bogs down your agenda.
More pissed. Alito would just start writing like opinions that were even more political and shit. Like he's gonna it's gonna get worse. But then number two, guy, I actually have not been convinced that they've committed impeachable acts, and so out of respect and deference to the Constitution, I'm not going to. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Really, even like Thomas and his RV and all that, and flying off
even Alito and not recusing himself.
Yes. Like that's the principle, right? I'm here to defend the Constitution and the American people, and that means first and foremost being principled on the Constitution, and so that's what this all is about, in my view.
Okay, fair enough.
Should we use Ossoff as a sequitur into our Natalie Harp story? What do you guys know about Mrs. Harp?
I think that there was
completely checked out of that.
A little bit, but I feel like there was some reporting about that before. It went into more detail this last week, right? Because there was some reporting on that woman being kind of weird and other people in the administration taking note of that. But somehow they got, what was it, the email or the letter or something? Yeah,
we got the letters. Do we want to? I don't know if we want to read the whole letter.
Yes, I want you to read at least one of at least the choice quotes. I want you to read the part about the guardian protector with all my heart. That I want to be pretty for you. That's the part I want you to read.
Let's look at this one. This is from the Daily Beast. So,
The people deserve this.
Yeah, she says, Dear Mr. President, I'm sorry. I thought I was the only one left behind last night and had no idea Margot's car was also pulled over and sent back to the airport. Since I was alone in the van outside, customs without my passport, I panicked and should have just called Secret Service instead of you.
Oh, this
I am
fucking
also
crazy
sorry if I was
lady.
an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. So this is the photo of her like
I thought they were going to fight more. Where's their fight?
chasing after with all my heart.
Cabinet and reporters as bait, and he flew secretly on the military plane.
It's kind of like
he had a couple of
Padme,
staff with him, and she was one.
Well,
do you remember when
hold on,
Padme
wait.
did the whole thing with the decoy and Attack of the Clones? It's kind of like that, I would say. A little bit like that. If you remember that explosion, everyone dies in a fire explosion, all the reporters, all the Secretary of State, everyone, and Trump comes out and is like, you died for me. I'm alive. Like, I don't know. That was wild.
That never made sense because she's like, the decoy says I failed you. And it's like, no, you did the perfect thing. You died in my place. That was your job. Good job.
Good job, Marco.
No, I was confusing this IRI from the 2023 thing where she chose to stow herself in the trunk of an SUV of the motorcade in order to not be left behind.
Crazy.
So she just like did a little hitchhiking essentially.
Well, I think there were no more seats left, so she climbed into the trunk of one of the Secret Service cars. Yeah, I mean,
literally like the Beatlemania, you know, like chasing them around and like, no, take me with you.
Yeah, I think Trump likes it though. You know, I don't know.
And he described her as the only one who loves him as much as his wife and children, that she will never leave him. And he described her as my Natalie. So, you know,
wow.
And I know some people are pointing out that she looks a little like Ivanka. I don't know if anyone's picking up.
I can't remember her face. It's so forgettable to me. But John Ossoff, he goes up and like makes a quip. Like you hear all that, right? And in a different letter that we're not going to read, she's like, all these people have time to be pretty for you, but I'm too like busy working and I'm not even sleeping. I just want to be pretty for you. And so like John Ossoff comes out and makes a quip about how Trump isn't worried about you. He's spending more time thinking about Natalie, going on the plane with Natalie. And all of conservative media collectively lose their shit in a definitely coordinated, feigned sense of outrage about how dare you attack this innocent woman, this poor victim. And they try to like basically strong arm everyone into condemning John Ossoff for going too low. I don't know if
it was misogynistic. It's crazy. How dare you attack our misogynistic president with your misogyny?
And the line wasn't even that crazy. It was like Trump's flying on his defenseless plane and he wants to travel with Natalie. Like it wasn't even that big of a deal. He didn't accuse Trump of like sleeping with her. And so I wonder why the right just went apeshit over that comment. I think you might be right, Pisco. Like it came from the top down. Like Trump 100% was demanding everyone push back on this. And he just made it worse for himself by drawing because that line wouldn't have got a lot of attention beyond a day or two, max.
Well, maybe they're focusing extra attention because it's true. They are sleeping together, and they're like, no, they're getting ahead of it.
They're totally fucking
Pee Wee Herman was
4. Wasn't that one of the closer ones?
I think it was.
I don't know if that man
6, but I don't quote me on that, guys. Definitely don't quote me on that.
Georgia presidential election,
something like that.
2.2%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was one of the better ones, I think.
Shit. Yeah, Georgia.
I think Warnock is like got pretty decent numbers there, and Ossoff I think is like +10. But you know, again, he's pretty unique. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I have faith in Democratic Party bench right now, and so like I don't know. I think we could probably find someone decent for Georgia. Would you want him to run for president, knowing that? I mean, if it's Ossoff versus fucking Vance, I don't think that's going to be a close race. Like, I just, you know,
presidency is what matters. Fuck the Senate. We need the presidency overall. If I have an intuition that Ossoff's going to be more effective as a presidential candidate, put him in that seat, man, and let him go. I mean, he'll carry you in Georgia if there's a special election that needs to happen. He'll go there and campaign.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm so amazed that we have these seats right now. I hate to give them up for anything, you know, like when people talk about Tallarico, I'm like, are you nuts? Like leave that man in that seat, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, that's like a once in a lifetime. Oh my God, we're going to flip Texas. This is crazy versus like, I don't know, like when Kamala Harris runs and it's like, okay, we definitely replace this person in California. Georgia is like maybe a little closer, but yeah, Texas is a whole other story. So,
well, the other thing is the DNC changing the schedule for the primaries to have South Carolina going first. That is great news for someone like John Ossoff as well. So large black
controversial
population in
among
Georgia.
some people. So there are some states that are like, you should go with like swing states, or you should go with states that are more reliably blue than states that we're definitely going to lose. The idea was, I think, a little bit to make it more representative of the Democratic constituency. That's the logic of it. Because before we started with Iowa and New Hampshire, which you could argue are like overrepresented white, and definitely favor someone like, I think, Pete Buttigieg or Bernie Sanders, given their demographics.
I feel like this is an instructive lesson for people that fuck around with electoral politics, which is that if you can demonstrate yourself as like a voting bloc of being like very reliable coalition partners, then the party will reward you. And so, I think for a block of America that, votes for Democrats 90+% of the time, I don't know. I feel
Mark,
like they should have sort of
Thanks for stopping by. Sorry it was a lazy stream.
An outsized
a racial
voice
bonus
when it comes to yeah, let's do racial quotas when it comes to picking the nominee. I mean, I just feel like that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
I don't know. I feel like I want a system that prioritizes. Maybe that's the best way to prioritize winning. Whatever system we generate is going to create some skew somewhere. And so if there's going to be a skew that we're going to account for, I would sooner it be like for election results in the general, or just have it be fucking random.
Well, the schedule is actually really interesting because not only is it South Carolina appealing to electorate that reflects the Democratic Party's base more, but then it's Nevada, which has a large Hispanic.
Wait, hold on. Let me give the framing, and then you can all watch it and you can tell me if I'm fucking dishonest. But
regardless of what my name is, or
if at all, though, because did you also have a problem when Haley Stevens was like, went up to like a black person and was like, "Hey, you voted for Obama," or "I know Obama," or she didn't say.
All right, guys.
Oh, it just ended. Oh shit.
About that before, it was just it went into more detail this last week, right? Because there was some reporting on that woman being kind
of prosecute local officials.
Can you not?
Wait, you can't joke about that?
Voter fraud. Please don't send it on you, fucking psychopath.
If I get on Fox, News wearing this outfit and they're like, Democrats support voter fraud, I'll consider it a win.
Defending Hassan really changed you. Now you're talking about Germany all the time. I don't know what's going on with you.
Wow.
All right, well, I'm going to put this link in the description. Josiah is telling us that El Sayed is on Fox and we should look at it. I don't know if anyone has a link for that, but
is there a link? It's not that kind of show, is it? Do we do that?
What?
Like react to live shit?
Listen,
I mean, it's not.
I gotta go.
I mean, Hutch does that, and Guy does that, and you do that, and I'm seeing some of
the clips coming out of it, and he, unsurprisingly, I just tweeted about it, but like one of his,
was that me? Icarus, thank you. I think what? Thank you, Icarus. I love you.
I think strengths is he seems to be one of these guys that really likes to fight. Like, he kind of reminds me of Gavin Newsom a little bit. Because that guy just loves arguing and fighting with Republicans. And I mean, these clips are
I like them.
Well, I know exactly what he's going to say. Jesse Waters going to ask him about Hassan. He's going to go, the real problem is not the streamers. It's the unaffordability of life. Yeah. He's just going to deflect. He's not going to address it.
No, but that's a skill, though. I'm saying that's a skill. And, he is a charming guy, and he is a skilled debater. I think he's got a lot of strengths as a politician, for sure.
Sure. I agree.
Well, guys, a successful consolidation. The chats were bumping. We really appreciate you guys supporting the consolidated aspect of it. I think it's awesome, and I just am really excited for that going forward. So appreciate all of you, bearing with us on that COVID stuff.
I tell my chat this a lot, but about Pisco and Soy Pill being sweepers for communists for a little bit, and then
we love be 5 years from now being like,
doing this week probably. Fighting DGG in my chat about Pisco and Soy Pill being sweepers for communists for a little bit. And then
thanks, Such. We appreciate it.
We'll probably
we appreciate you, like, as both Nazi sympathizers, Pisco and I. You are sympathizing with us, which makes you a Nazi sympathizer.
Eastern.
All right, whatever. Not Charlie Cook, fucking. Wait, Fox News. Oh boy.
Joins us now. How you doing, Abdul?
I'm good, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity for a good, wholesome conversation.
25:17.
We both played football and lacrosse. We both love America. We both love freedom. And I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see how much we agree on. I know I don't agree with you on this. You want to abolish ICE. Who's going to deport the criminal aliens from the country?
Dude, Jesse Waters is a fucking demon. By the way.
Well, you and I both know that we've, long before we ever had ICE, we had INS.
Oh, fuck, I can't do... What's the good volume mixer fucking app for Firefox? Or add-on? Sound fixer, no. Let's try this one.
We were able to enforce our immigration policies without shooting people in the face and the back of the head.
Nope,
and we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. That was an anniversary of throwing away tyranny.
Right.
Now,
This now. How you doing, Abdul?
I'm good, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity for...
Can I watch this on something else? Premieres in 24 minutes. What the fuck? Fine. Well, let's see here.
Joins us now. How you doing, Abdul?
I'm good, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity for a good, wholesome conversation, and I just want to start where we agree. We both played football and lacrosse. We both love America. We both love freedom, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see how much we agree on. I know I don't agree with you on this. You want to abolish ICE. Who's going to deport the criminal aliens from the country?
Like, even if we're being not retarded like Jesse, it's like ICE hasn't always been here. Like, we've gotten by without ICE before, and we could just transfer immigration enforcement to whatever did it before ICE. Like, I never understood this line of questioning. It just doesn't compute.
Well, you and I both know that we've, long before we ever had ICE, we had INS. We were able to enforce our immigration policies without shooting people in the face and the back of the head.
Boom.
And we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. That was an anniversary of throwing away tyranny. Now, to bring that tyranny back under the guise of the U.S. government itself, that seems to me to be inconsistent with the freedom you and I both love.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a dodge, Abdul. They did the same thing as ICE back then, INS. Do you know how many...
No, they weren't running around the streets masked and like without badges and without identifications shooting America. That wasn't what was happening before Trump took over ICE. So,
illegal aliens are in the country
shoot
now?
people in the face and the back of the head.
Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country now?
That question doesn't matter. What does that have to do with anything?
We had, no, I mean, to your point, Jesse, let me just answer the question. To your point,
how many do we have?
Far fewer when we had INS. To your answer, we had
exactly.
far fewer when we had INS.
Exactly.
So
we now
arguably,
have,
INS worked a lot better.
Abdul, listen, we had twice as many illegals now when we had INS.
So to your argument,
you have to have the manpower to do it.
If you want to do that correlation, We have ICE now, and we have far, far more undocumented people. So ICE is clearly not working. It's just shooting like American citizens in the face and the back of the head. So
well,
if you're okay
illegals
with
are
that,
shooting
then
people
I
in
guess
the
we
face
just have to agree
too.
to disagree.
So are Americans.
guy
What does that
in
fucking
Michigan.
matter?
American citizens.
You got a
I just
guy.
think, look,
let me just
we
say
have a
something.
responsibility
Okay,
to get
Abdul,
back to the conversation about the broader issues.
Okay.
Well, you cut me off, Jesse, and you said we're going to have a good conversation. So I'd like to do that. I just want to answer the point. When I travel the state, and I have traveled my state, more people are asking me about how they're going to afford their gas and groceries. They're not asking me about immigration.
Well,
now,
they also don't want to
that's
get
an issue
molested.
that your
Abdul, you got a
president
guy
and
here from Southeast Asia, molested a kid. ICE just picked him up. You want that guy to stay in Michigan?
Yes. That's what he's saying. By saying he doesn't want Donald Trump's ICE to be shooting people in the face, that means he wants child molesters who happen to be immigrants, illegal or not, to stay. Does Jesse not mind what that person does if he wasn't an illegal immigrant? Is Jesse okay with child molesters as long as they're American?
Michigan?
I'm glad that guy got picked up, but that's a different thing than saying that INS would not have picked him up. Jesse, you're too smart for this.
It's a bureaucratic game you're playing, and that's a dodge.
You point to him, you say,
you need guys to get these guys out of the country.
And therefore, ICE, we need ICE. I'm just saying, look, playing by your own rules. When we had INS, we had fewer people doing the things that you're talking about.
That's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
When we had that.
All right, that's because Biden didn't blow up.
You didn't. That's irrelevant. Well, then why was fucking Obama able to deport more people if there were less of them? Was he just that much better at deporting illegal immigrants than Trump is, than Republicans? If that's the case, I feel like we just need to get a Democrat in office to get them out.
Open the border.
And that's not an ICE question. That's a CBP question.
No,
Jesse,
you guys let in a ton of people, and we got to get them out, and we'll take the guys out the way we need to take them out.
He's actually so fucking stupid.
Green New Deal. You back that up. Do you drive an electric car?
When was the Green New Deal? Like proposed? $2019. Why are we talking about the Green New Deal? It's 2026. Oh, fucking. Bro, I'm going to kill myself. What the fuck?
Abdul El Sayed.
To the point, when I travel the state, and I have traveled my state, more people about the broader issues.
Okay.
Well, you cut me off, Jesse, and you said we're going to have a not asking.
You want that guy to stay in Michigan?
I'm glad that guy got picked up, but that's a different thing than saying
No,
that
yeah.
INS would not have picked him up. Jesse, you're too smart
Pete
for this.
does good, but I think that Ossoff could do good too on Fox.
You need guys to get these guys out of the country.
And therefore that.
All right, that's because the way we need to take them out. Green New Deal. You back that up. Do you drive an electric car?
I drive a plug-in hybrid made right in the United States. The bigger question about cars, though, is why the president just started a trade war or escalated a trade war with Canada. It's about to make all of our cars, especially the internal combustion engine cars, so much more expensive.
You want to get rid of the internal combustion engine.
Prices. No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green New Deal
came
says.
to America to design internal combustion engines. No,
the Green New Deal says phase.
Okay, that was good, Abdul. That was a good comeback. How did? Goddamn.
It says that we could build gas prices. No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green New Deal says.
My dad came to America to design internal combustion engines. No, that's not what the Green New Deal says.
Phase out fossil fuels.
It says that we could build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole
You're
lot
on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we actually
backing the
invested
Green
in
New Deal,
renewable energy.
Abdul.
Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the idea that we could reduce energy costs and create jobs in Michigan?
Absolutely, but I don't want windmills in Lake Michigan.
So you're absolutely opposed to that?
Yeah, I don't want to put windmills in Lake Michigan. Do you?
Have windmills.
I don't think the people in Michigan want that, Abdul.
If
you're running on that, that's not going to go over too well.
We have a pipeline. No. I mean, Jesse, look, we can have a conversation if you want to. You want to keep cutting me off? We could keep doing that too. But you told me we're going to have a good conversation. I just want to talk about something.
Go ahead.
Right now, we have an oil pipeline in the Great Lakes. If that oil pipeline were to burst, the consequences for our Great Lakes would be disastrous. Now, you're telling me that you'd rather have a situation where that happens.
And that Southern Dem aura is powerful. Like, it's so powerful that people forget he's Jewish, which is fucking crazy. Like that is some fucking aura.
Happen than a windmill that really is so offensive to you?
No,
now, those windmills are good.
I'm saying I don't want to get rid of fossil fuels, and that's what the Green New Deal does. Let's move on. You want to soak the rich. Look, Rabdul, because this isn't a podcast. I got to sell ads in the breaks. You want to soak the rich. Let's listen to what you said about the taxes. Run it.
I also think we got to start taxing wealth for people who have over $100 million. I mean, at that point, like, what even are you going to do with more money?
This talking part's hard, or this like conversation's hard, but there needs to be some kind of tax on people that make money. It's difficult to do like any kind of, oh, if you have over 100 million, like if it's based on assets, it gets really weird. There needs to be something. I think like you should only be able to like leave a certain amount of money to your kids. The rest the government gets, fuck you. I think something like that would probably be best. But again, it's like something you actually have to think about, and I haven't done that.
What are you going to do with more money? I mean, whatever I want.
I mean, Jesse, I don't know how much you make. Look,
not $1 billion.
But I think I'd rather have. Well, yeah, look, so that's exactly it, right? The question ultimately is, do you want to drive on good roads, or would you rather have a billionaire make a second billion? That's what Mike Rogers wants. That's what Donald Trump wants. Apparently, that's what you want. I think the people in Michigan want something different. They want good roads and good schools.
So you're saying Beyonce, who just became a billionaire, she has to break you off something every year? She has to pay the politicians?
It's not me. It's the American public.
Why would he, like... Who watches like it's like almost cartoonish how fucking stupid he is. True. Honestly, Corum, 100%. Get those, and even the Bush ones, fuck them.
You're Beyonce, the one that wants the money.
To be able to contribute back to the public schools that she went to. I think she'd be happy to invest in good roads in her community. I think she'd be happy to pay a little bit more so that everybody had a little bit more.
You're reaching a little deep into the...
Like... I will give Jesse fucking credit for being the cuck humiliation demon that he is, but like, you couldn't pay me to get fucking ass raped on TV like this.
To be defending billionaires from your channel, Jesse, that's a crazy thing. I thought you were for, I'm just saying, look, at the end of the day, I thought you were for the everyday man. Like, if you're for billionaires more than you're for every other person, well, you and I are just going to disagree.
No, I just think I have the right to the fruits of my own labor. That's America. It's not communist what you're talking about.
You do, but we have taxes, and taxes does not equal communism, Jesse.
No, the problem with it, Jesse, is you and I both know
socialized healthcare.
Billionaires don't make money. And let me just answer the question.
Sure.
No, let me go back to that.
Go ahead.
Billionaires don't make their money off of their labor. That, I think, is where you head off. Billionaires that make their money off their money. So if you have $1 billion, your billion makes another 100 million. That's not the fruits of your labor. That's just the fruits of your money making money. I think it's okay. Like, if we tax you at 7%, you're still gonna make what, a cool $30 million off your $1 billion. I think it's okay. They're gonna be okay, Jesse.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of...
I mean, that's a good way to put it. I mean, it's still sloppyism a little bit, but it's good rhetorically. I'll give it to him. Abdul's good.
Politicians like you capping how much money people make in America. That's just me. We can have the voters in Michigan decide. You say you want socialized health care. Abdul, how much is that going to cost?
A lot of money.
It's going to cost the average Michigander a whole lot less than they pay right now. But I'm just going to tell you.
No, but what's the price tag of the program?
Who voted to raise prescription drug prices 19 times, right? And so I'm just saying I want to bring your costs down. The price of the program is going to be substantially less for an everyday person who's out here who can't afford their health care and worried about losing their health care with their job.
Well, give me the total number.
Look, while you're out here trying to talk about the broader national budget, I'm a lot more interested in the everyday budgets that Michiganders are thinking about. And that's exactly the budget that Donald Trump and Mike Rogers are blowing up right now. Well, I just don't see why you're so on the side of the billionaires, Jesse, rather than on the side of everyday Michiganders.
Man, he's fucking hitting the sloppulous hammer pretty fucking hard.
Because I don't want you guys to blow the country up. Do you know how much the federal budget is now?
No, neither do.
Curious. I want. Did it increase or decrease the past couple years, Jesse?
Why? Here's exactly
What's the federal budget?
You guys want to, right? Pete Hegseth.
No, he's going to be a senator. You're right. Never mind.
Abdul, answer the question. Do you know what the federal budget is?
To raise... No. I just want to talk about this. Look, you want to talk about budgets? I'm happy to do that. The guy who used to work on your channel, I think he was like the 6th host on the 5. He wanted to raise our military budget to $1.5 trillion, and you don't seem to be upset about that. What? So we could fight a war we don't know how to get out of? To raise our gas prices $5 a gallon?
Good point. But Jesse, the professional cuck demon, will just sit here and take it.
That doesn't make sense to me, Jesse. We want to talk about the things that we actually should spend on. To me,
I
that's
have a feeling,
and
Abdul,
childcare
you don't
and
even
good
know how
schools.
much money the government spends every year. Do you know?
That's not pertinent. Like, who cares if you don't have that off the top of your fucking head? Yeah, exactly, Corp. Yeah, like, it's just... I guess if you're fucking, like, 78 years old and you're watching this probably fucking slaps, but...
Look, the question, Jesse, to me
All right,
is,
so you don't know. Let me tell you what it is. It's $7 trillion a year. And your plan
Jesse,
to take over the healthcare system
that
is
secondary.
$4 trillion.
And here's the problem with it. So to exactly your point,
I mean,
do you know what
I'm not very
1.5
good at
trillion
math.
out of
I don't think you're
7.5
very good
trillion
at
is?
math either, but go ahead.
Clearly you don't. And you don't seem to care. But I don't think most Americans want to spend that much money on military escapades so that the folks stranded on the USS Abraham Lincoln can't even get a sausage for breakfast. I just think that we could do a lot better with our money, Jesse, and I think that's where you and I tend to disagree.
I just disagree.
Mike Rogers agrees with you.
I think if you
Like...
spend $4 trillion, everything else is going to get really expensive. You're going to look back at Biden inflation, and you're going to wish you were back there. But you brought up foreign policy.
You want to talk about inflation? I'd be happy to talk about inflation. Jesse, you actually said the word. Because everywhere I go in Michigan, people are talking about the fact that they've never had to worry as much about life being as unaffordable as they say right now. Now, I get it. Donald Trump likes to blame everything on his predecessor. But let's be clear, this is Donald Trump's economy right now. And he's about to make everything so much worse because he's in a vanity war with the Prime Minister of Canada. And look, like, I'm in Michigan, and you're from New York, right? So you know Canadians, man. They're the only people I know who apologize before they even did his thing. So now they're raising the tariff to 50%. What's that going to do to inflation?
Yeah, what is spending $4 trillion going to do? I think it's going to make it a lot
Jesse's good at not fucking answering anything.
worse. But you brought up the war. Are you glad the Ayatollah is dead?
I don't really care. Like, the answer would be, like, do you think the average American gives a shit whether or not, like, the Ayatollah is alive or dead? Like, how does the Ayatollah being alive or dead affect anybody at any point, anywhere? Like, who gives a shit? Why is that what he's focusing on? Like, the Ayatollah being dead hasn't made our lives better.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was a terrible person, but that's beyond the point. The bigger question is, should we have gone to war in the first place? Look, I just want to be clear with you, right? I mean, I'm never going to defend the Iranian regime, but I am going to defend the idea that we probably shouldn't be fighting wars we don't know how to get out of. Oopsie, you go to war and you tell us that it's going to be a special military operation. That was in February. We're now in September almost, and we're still fighting the special military operation. I mean, it's not working for us, Jesse.
We're not really
this
fighting
is exactly
it.
what
It's
happens
a
when we've got a
blockade.
dunce in the White House.
Well, no, yeah, we're still fighting it. Then how come we're continuing to send aircraft carriers over there? Like, our boys and girls are still out there.
House who doesn't know what he's doing.
So you'd go back in time, you'd give them back their nuke program, you'd give them back their Air Force.
Is that what he said? Maybe my headphones are all fucked up. I don't know.
Their Navy.
No, I'd go
Because the nuke program's buried under a mountain of
peace,
rubble.
and we actually had nuclear containment. Now, Jesse, you like to, I mean, look, I understand selective memory about history, but we had a JCPOA that was well negotiated, that actually had nuclear non-proliferation far more securely than what we have right now after having gone to war for the better part of 6 months.
Yeah, I like the fact that the nuke program's buried under a mountain of rubble. They
And they can dig it out.
can't even get access to it, but that's me. I think we'll figure it out.
What happens when they dig it out, Jesse?
The thing you said about...
So let's just stop there. So,
Sure.
Jesse, wait. I understand you're not good at math. I get that. I'll give you that. But science, we got to talk about science, okay?
Yeah.
You understand that, like, nuclear material doesn't just go away because you buried it under a mountain of rubble. You understand they could still go back and bury it out, right?
Yeah,
You
we're
get
watching
that,
it from Space
right?
Force.
So
and
we're
anybody
not any
that
more
goes
secure
near
than we were
kaboom.
back then.
Okay.
So, wait, even if we're watching it with Space Force, okay, even if we're watching, so we have to keep people there all the time, like ready to rock and roll just in case like they just start digging it out, like... That sucks.
Let's move on. You said getting rid of Sharia law was white supremacy. Let's roll the tape. Go.
I don't have to tell you that.
Wait, what? Okay. That's pretty crazy. Huh.
The same exact forces that drove native peoples from their land 2 centuries ago, destroyed Black Wall Street a century ago, bombed a building decades ago, and tried to ban Sharia law not a decade ago, that those forces are alive and well today.
So getting rid of Sharia law is white supremacy. Can you explain that one?
Do you know what canon law is? Jesse, I assume you're Christian, right?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, so canon law is the name for Christian law. I don't begrudge you your right to practice your faith as you choose. I don't know why the idea that I could practice my faith as I choose is a problem. Nobody is trying to push Sharia law on anyone else, just like I hope nobody is trying to push canon law on anybody else, because we live in an America where you should have the freedom of your religion. So the idea that you have somebody like Tommy Tuberville, right, who, you know, barely was good at coaching football, is out here trying to ban Sharia law when there's less than 1% of the Muslim community in America, as if somehow Muslims are out here trying to push Sharia law, that seems to me to be deliberately targeting the Muslim community because they're different. And I'm just saying that, like, I have no issue with people practicing their faith. In fact, I would never want somebody to push their faith on me, and I would never want to push my faith on somebody else.
Good, because no one wants you to get rid of your religion.
And so the idea,
no one wants that.
So, but when people preemptively go out there and start preemptively passing laws to ban something that's not happening, what you're trying to do is target a very small community because they're different. And this operates. I mean, look, I'm just going to say, there's statistical evidence that the president and the vice president
Michigan is kind of scary.
Simply
people
as a function
don't go
of my
for
faith.
that. You know, it's like men aren't equal from women. It's like physical punishments.
You like to say the word. Look, Jesse, look,
people don't like
to
that
say
in Michigan. I'm just saying,
because
I don't think that's a good
really
position.
And scary. Nobody's pushing it. No, but Jesse, nobody's pushing it. You know what the issue is in America, in Michigan?
What?
The issue that people are worried about is not that somehow somebody's going to come and push Sharia law on them. The issue in Michigan is people are worried about how they're going to afford their gas. The issue in Michigan is how am I going to see a doctor when I get sick? How am I going to keep my job? You're out here, honestly, you guys love to play this culture war game where you use these words that sound really foreign to avoid actually having to talk about the issues that everyday people like to talk about. Now, look, Mike Rogers is the guy I'm running against for U.S. Senate, and I know you've had him on your show. Maybe he answers questions. I don't know if he does.
I've actually never had him on.
Only, but look, you haven't. So he's ducking your show too, because he's ducking. Look, can we all agree? Like,
I haven't
Jesse,
invited
you and I
him
are
on.
going to have a debate, right? Can we all agree that Mike Rogers is a beta? Can we all agree with that?
I haven't even had him on.
Dude won't even come on your show because he's afraid of getting grilled.
I will have him on.
That guy,
and I'm sure it'll be great. But
Abdul, like, Jesse, let me just say,
can I back up
he's
for
out
1
here
second?
trying to talk about my.
Can I back up for 1 second?
Finish my point. I'll finish. I swear I'll be quick.
Okay, because Mike Rogers isn't here to defend himself.
He thinks he's running against Hassan Piker.
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe then he'll actually come on your show. Maybe I'm doing you a favor then. But the guy's a beta, doesn't like to answer questions, and he dodges every debate. So I'm pretty sure he's going to dodge you too.
Need Mike Rogers on the show, but thanks for booking it. You know, I agree. Gas prices are too high. Gas prices are too high. Abdul, pipe down 1 second. Gas prices are too high. Green New Deal's not going to help that. You said that we get to keep our doctor.
The Green New Deal?
I've been told that before. We were lied to. So let's move on.
Jesse,
you said here. I want to move on because we do have to hit a break.
No, let me just finish the point.
Please.
You told me you want to say something.
Go ahead.
And I want to just finish my point. Okay.
Yeah.
If the only answer that Mike Rogers and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have to this economy is to point to me and say there are scary words associated with him, I'm just going to tell you those scary words are not raising gas prices or keeping you from seeing your doctor. I'm interested in getting money out of politics, putting money in your pocket, passing Medicare for all. And I think that actually will solve problems in Michigan.
I'm not scared of you.
If you think
Abdul, I just think you're a little misguided.
Or running against my faith is going to fix problems, go ahead.
No, I just played what you said and we talked about it, so we're all good. You also said this. You want to replace the right to bear arms with the right to health care. You don't want to replace the Second Amendment, do you?
God, that's such a dumb thing.
I think more people are more worried about whether or not they can see a doctor than whether or not they can have a gun. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, there it is. I think Democrats need to fucking drop their pussy ass bullshit about guns. It's dumb. It's a losing battle. You're not going to win. You're not going to get rid of all the guns. Just fucking deal with it, embrace it, and just take away an attack vector that Republicans have. Just.
I mean, you're dodging the question. Do you want to replace the Second Amendment?
I'm just saying that more people are more concerned about seeing a doctor. If we had a right to health care in this country, they probably wouldn't.
And he should just fucking answer the question, whether it's yes or no. Like, I don't like this doesn't like Abdul doesn't look good here.
I think that'd be a pretty good thing, don't you?
I think you dodged the question, and that's a pretty big one in Michigan. But I'll take it as what you said. You
Jesse,
said
look,
Colin Kaepernick.
I'm perfectly fine with people. Let me just finish to answer your point. You said I dodged the question. I'm perfectly okay with people having their hunting rifles. It's an important pastime. I've got family that goes hunting every single year. But don't you think we should have a right to health care? Don't you think that'd be a good thing in America? Can we just say that?
75% of the country likes the health care coverage they have. I don't want to screw that up.
And they can keep that. Ideally, if he's in, like, unless Abdul's crazy.
No, 75% of the country wants guaranteed health care through Medicare for all. So maybe you have your facts. I guess I know you guys do alternative facts over here.
Like hopefully in whatever kind of healthcare system Democrats would pass, you would still get to keep your healthcare.
I'll give you that.
We'll find out in November. But that's a Gallup poll. You might not believe it, but
yes,
I'm telling you what it is.
Yes, we will.
You said Colin Kaepernick was a good guy, and you said the NFL was racist. What did you mean by that?
Look, I think for Colin Kaepernick's sake, I think he should have had several more years in the NFL. Now, I think he's a pretty damn good quarterback. I think, unfortunately, he lost a lot of time. But the bigger question right now when it comes to football, look, I know you guys like to think I don't like football, but I'm happy to line up against anybody who thinks that I don't like football. And I'll just tell you, the bigger issue that we have for football right now is I looked at ticket prices to try and go and see a game with my family. It's astronomical through the roof. Now, I think football used to be the kind of thing that you could enjoy with people.
It's another dodge, Abdul.
So we want to talk about football. I want to talk about access to football.
I asked you if you thought the NFL was racist because you said the NFL was racist, and now you're talking about ticket prices.
No, I'm just telling you the NFL is too expensive.
Yeah, like I like how Abdul tried to get it back onto like price and how expensive things is. Now it's a little. Listen, I agree. Football games are way too fucking expensive to go to. But why does that fucking matter? Like, why is him saying the NFL's racist? Why does that fucking matter? Anytime, like, if I was like consulting for these guys for like any Democrat going on these shows, I would just have them repeat the answer. How does this affect the lives of Michiganders? Like, how does this affect the lives of my constituents? Like, even if that were the case, like, I'm not like running for the NFL. I'm not running to take like Roger Goodell's job. Like, why does this matter? Yeah, I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid. And you should just like repeat that. Like, why are you asking me that? This doesn't affect my constituents. Just answer like that every single time. And maybe like other people will see how fucking ridiculous the question is in the first place.
The NFL is too expensive. You don't agree?
All right, so you don't think it's
right? You really can. And I know that you're in New York, so you have like two teams that play in the same place, so you get two options. But I'm just saying that here in Michigan, we got one team. Okay. And most people can't afford to watch them in a stadium. And I'd like to make it more affordable.
Right, so you dodged again. Sex changes for minors.
Oh, fucking kill me, dude. This show is fucking poison.
Do you support that?
Look, you know, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends.
I remember when we didn't talk about fucking like kids' dicks. It was so much better when we weren't talking about kid genitalia all day. But these guys, these fucking conservatives, they just don't want to stop talking about it. Like, it's like they have a compulsion.
About right to try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor,
you want to try on kids?
Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But you know, you want to put government inside.
So Abdul, you're a doctor, right?
Selectively. I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really?
I hate these people.
Really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Okay,
doctor.
So you probably should want to move on. You probably should want to move on.
Is circumcision's different than castration?
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's dingling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul?
No, that's pretty funny. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if this will land with his boomer audience. Like, people are going to agree with Jesse here. But Abdul's right. Like, people just need to shut the fuck up. Like, it's not the government's decision to come in and say what you and your kid and your, like, it's you, your kid, and your doctor that has that conversation. Like, I don't need fucking Uncle Sam in that room with me.
Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
So what about that?
So the question, so again, like, Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan. You don't want to talk about gas prices. You don't want to talk about groceries. You don't want to talk about health care.
That's a good point.
You don't want to talk about this stupid trade war that's about to destroy Michigan's economy.
We spent the whole interview talking about that stuff.
No, you've been talking about this fucking culture war bullshit.
Destroying, that is destroying our own military. You don't seem to want to talk about any of those things. You want to bring up all this culture war. That, you know, I'm not here to fight a culture war. I'm here to fight
we talked about gas prices and the Green New Deal, okay? If you want to do an interview,
I brought them up every time.
You can do the interview,
you're
okay?
Asking me, like, you're doing the greatest hits, Jesse. Like, I mean, this is, like, you could play this game if you want, but, like, you can keep doing the greatest hits if you want. You told me we're going to come on for a conversation, and when we have conversations, I think it's okay to also ask questions. I just want to understand what you're getting at here.
I'm getting at whether you think men should play in women's sports.
As the next U.S. Senator in Michigan,
it's a big issue.
I'm interested in getting money.
It's not a big issue. It's not a big issue. It's not a big issue. You guys just love fucking talking about it.
Out of politics, putting money in your pocket, and passing Medicare for all.
You're filibustering,
most people don't care about what sports kids play. And
you're filibustering.
I'm just
it's a big issue.
Because, like, I want
you guys kind of lost on that issue last time.
Deserve to hear about.
All right, so you want to answer that question?
What issue?
You want to answer the question?
What issue? Go ahead, Jesse. What issue?
Should men play women's sports? You have daughters, right?
No.
I think that, look, I played sports my whole life. Sports were an important part of my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to play sports. And at the end of the day, the decision of who gets to play what sports ought to be decided by the people who govern sports. I'm running for U.S. Senate. Jesse, it's insane. I'm out here trying to take on, like, the healthcare crisis in Big Pharma, and you're asking me about who gets to play what sports. It's silly. People can't take you seriously.
But exactly. Like, what the fuck does his, like, yes, mention the freaking idiotic what? Yeah.
If you've been following the news recently, Abdul, let me ask you about the politics. We'll get to your race. Let's do your race right now.
Please be serious.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be like, yeah, people talk about it, Jesse, because you guys constantly bring it up. Why do you guys constantly bring it up? Oh, shit.
I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
So what about that?
So the question, so again, like, Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan. You don't want to talk about gas prices. You don't want to talk about groceries. You don't want to talk about health care. You don't want to talk about this stupid trade war that's about to destroy Michigan's economy.
We spent the whole interview talking about that stuff.
That's destroying, that is destroying our own military. You don't seem to want to talk about any of those things. You want to bring up all this culture war. That, you know, I'm not here to fight a culture war.
We talked about the war. We talked about gas prices and the Green New Deal.
Yeah, but a majority of this conversation was about dumb cultural bullshit.
Okay? If you want to do an interview,
I brought them up every time.
You can do the interview,
You're asking me, like, you're doing the greatest hits,
questions.
Jesse. Like, I mean, this is, like, you could play this game if you want, but, like, you can keep doing the greatest hits if you want. You told me we're going to come on for a conversation, and when we have conversations, I think it's okay to also ask questions. I just want to understand what you're getting at here.
I'm getting at whether you think men should play in women's sports.
As the next U.S. Senator in Michigan,
it's a big issue.
I'm interested in getting money out of politics, putting money in your pocket, and passing Medicare for all.
You're filibustering,
most people don't care about what sports kids play.
You're filibustering. It's a big issue.
Because, like, I want to talk about the issues
lost
that
on
your
that issue last time.
Deserve to hear about.
All right, so you want to answer that question?
What issue?
You want to answer the question?
What issue? Go ahead, Jesse. What issue?
Should men play women's sports? You have daughters, right?
I think that, look, I played sports my whole life. Sports were an important part of my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to play sports. And at the end of the day, the decision of who gets to play what sports ought to be decided by the people who govern sports. I'm running for U.S. Senate. Jesse, it's insane. I'm out here trying to take on like the healthcare crisis in big pharma, and you're asking me about who gets to play what sports. It's silly. People can't take you seriously.
It's kind of a big thing if you've been following the news recently, Abdul. Let me ask you about the politics. We'll get to your race. Let's do your race right now.
Please be serious. Like, I'm here with you. I want to have a conversation about the issues that matter.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the things that people are actually talking about.
Okay. I am, but let's keep going. Black people in Michigan.
Well, I know you guys are talking about that, but like most of the country's not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Black people in Michigan voted for this white lady you ran against by like 8 points over you. What happened there?
Well, Jesse, I mean, you said it yourself, right? You got to give credit to Abdul. He ran against the machine. I got outspent 11-1. That 11-1 is going to do something at the end of the day. Now, my job is to go and earn every vote. And we've been having some great conversations in the community. We'll continue to do that. And I have a lot to talk about when it comes to my work taking care of communities. I rebuilt Detroit's health department, led Wayne County's Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services, got to work alongside so many folks in the community to give kids glasses, take on corporate polluters, eliminate medical debt. I'm looking forward to continuing to have those conversations, and I feel really good about being able to bring communities together and beat Mike Rogers, who you and I both agree is a beta and won't come on your show and won't debate me in November.
Didn't agree to that, but that's funny. Reparations, do you support that?
But you laughed at it. Because you didn't say you didn't agree. Like, Jesse, you're very good at telling me when you don't agree with me, but you actually laughed at that joke because you actually agree. Sorry.
Reparations, do you support that?
I think we need to have an honest conversation about the incredible debt that was put upon black folks as a function of slavery that we have yet to pay. And I just think that's fair. Like, if people are enslaved and forced into servitude, and then we don't actually have a conversation about all that was owed, that our own country agreed was owed, I just think that it's past time to have that conversation. That shouldn't be a crazy thing. I understand that, like, for folks who really want to inflame culture war, I just think it's important for us to think about how do we make sure that communities like the city of Detroit that have been segregated so that you have a disproportionate number of people as a function of redlining who are forced into certain communities, how do we make sure that their schools are made whole? I'll just tell you this, in the city of Detroit right now, they just had $700 million invested in their schools. They're still $1.7 billion behind. And a lot of folks want to say, oh, well, that's profligacy, et cetera, et cetera. No, a lot of that has to do with public policy.
Okay.
And if public policy created a level in which black folks disproportionately suffer everything from maternal mortality and infant mortality to lack of access to jobs, I think it's important for our country to have a conversation about how we make people whole.
You want to have a conversation about it because we have you on the record as backing it, but now you just want to have a conversation. I got it. I got it.
Well, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you exactly what. Go ahead.
Schumer. You said you basically wanted his head on a stake when you were running in the primary. You still believe that?
Well, look, me and the senator have one goal right now. It is to win Michigan. So we're looking forward to doing that. And given the fact that Mike Rogers, who you agree is a beta, is my opponent, it probably shouldn't be very hard.
Okay. I respect the fact that you
still
came
haven't
on.
opposed me. Mike, bro, talk to your guy.
I respect the fact that you came on. I don't think you've really looked into some of the policies you're pushing. You seem a little naive, Abdul. I give you credit for facing the music, but some of the stuff's just straight up wacky. You know? I don't know if that's going to fly in Michigan, but we're going to find out.
You know what's wacky?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. And you know what's wacky?
Yeah.
You know what's wacky, though?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you? You know you didn't ask me about?
What?
We got a president of the United States who cares more about the drapes in a ballroom that shouldn't be built than he cares about the war he just got us into, or that he cares about the affordability crisis. That seems to me to be a little bit wacky. So if we want to have a serious conversation about what Michiganders are feeling.
Yo, Corum, do you have a Kick account? If you're still here. All right, meet me over at Kick. I want to fucking stream dumb shit that I can't on YouTube. All right, I'm going to close my YouTube stream. Yeah, meet me over there. If you're on YouTube, meet me at Kick. Kick.com/usurp.